adventure and whatever comes our way. Yeah, I gotta go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of the guns at once and explode into space. I like smoke and lightning, heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and the feeling that I'm under. Yeah, I gotta go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild. Get your motor running, head out on the highway, looking for adventure and whatever comes our way. Yeah, I gotta go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. And like the true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild.
Welcome to the first ever Buckwild training. I want to know in the chat box, what time is it for you? What time is it for you around the world? It is 6 in the morning in Thailand. The sun just came up. I can literally see the ocean right there. 4 p.m., 6 p.m. Hey, Candy, Tara, 7 midnight. Some of you in the UK. I know my UK people weren't able. Australia, 9 a.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. So for those of you that it's your nighttime, this is gonna be like a bedtime story for you guys. For those of you where you're just starting, it's the first hour of your day or your morning. Let this be like a spoken word or a time together where you see what actually is possible for yourself. And so welcome to the first ever 2-day free event inside of Freedom Queen called Buckwild. I would love to know, why did you sign up for Buckwild? We have 300 people that signed up for the 2-day free event, whether you're watching with me live now or you're watching the replay, but I want to know what made you sign up particularly for this program called Buckwild. Now, some of you know this, some of you don't. At the end of today's training, I'm going to be opening up a very special package for those of you that want to come to our event this year. And so maybe you're here because of that. Maybe you're here because you want to unleash a piece of your soul that you can take to another level. Maybe you feel like this is this time in your life where you're just ready to play bigger. So let me come into the chat here and see what you guys are saying. Can't wait for the event. Everyone should go. You guys stay to the end of this training because I'm going to drop something crazy and there's going to have some special bonuses if you're live with me. That's how I feel inside. I need to be brave and show up. This will jumpstart my July, Tara says, because everything that Bridget leads is gold, so I need it to be here. Thank you, Samaya. I want to be in everything you do. It felt fitting. Literally the word, Nikki says. My dad used to say Buckwild. I love that. So my parents just got a puppy and they have no idea like the trainings that I run. They have no idea. And my mom's like, we're thinking about naming the dog Buck. I'm like, what? This is so, what a coincidence. Don't believe in coincidences, because I'm ready to get Buck motherfucking wild. Here for it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I could rationalize it, but really I just miss being in your energy. Hi, Sonia. There are no coincidences, Meg says. If this is your first ever training inside of Freedom Queen, can you put new inside of the chat? If this is your first ever training inside of Freedom Queen, put new. I would love to know who is here with us. If this is your second, third, 500th, you're here with me for a lifetime, put OG inside of the chat. OG. Now, oh, yay. Oh my gosh, Olga, I just missed the email. Yay. I hope some of you are winding down for the evening, and or if it's your morning like mine, that this sets the tone for how you go to sleep, but also for how you wake up in the morning. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to take you on a journey in this next hour together. And so I want you to make sure that you don't have any distractions up, that you're in a room where maybe it's a little bit more quiet, your phone's put to the side. I like to put my phone face down and really just soak in the frequency, the energy, and the stories that I'm going to be telling in today's training. Now, in today's training, I'm going to be doing a lot more of pulling back the curtain of what it actually takes to move at lightning speed and build a multi-million-dollar company. I've never done a training like this before, so you are in for a treat. Tomorrow's training, we're going to be doing a lot more Q&A, where you're going to be able to come up, ask me questions about what it looks like to blow past everybody inside of your online business. So I'm curious for, let me get my slides going. For those of you that are here, I want to know if right now in your business feels like a turning point. And I want you to put Buckwild in the chat if at any point in time these words land. And I don't want this to be like the boring coach, just put things in the chat. I want this to be Buckwild. And so I want you to have your full energy on. If you can, put your cameras on, be the most active person inside of the chat. Like how you show up in these calls, how you show up for your mentors calls, when, you know, whether it's even just as simple as a free event, is so profound. 2 years ago, I went to an online event and I sat there like this. Oh my gosh, no one had their camera on. I was the only person with my camera on, being the most inside of the Zoom chat. And 2 years later, had my first $200,000 cash month. There's something about that. And so I'm gonna show you who I've become along the way. And I want you to be able to take out the little pieces of today's storytelling and apply it to your own life. Because success does leave clues. And one of the reasons why you might not be going Buckwild right now is because you're emulating or you're taking on somebody else's version of what it's like to grow a business. And I know that if you're inside of this room, you are here to do something extraordinary. Put Buckwild in the chat if you want to actually just real talk. I'm going to go here with you today. You want to blow past everyone. Is it okay if I offend some people, if I trigger you, if I love and shove you? Is that okay? Put Buckwild in the chat. Some of you inside of this space, you're acting like a beginner coach when you're meant to be the Tony Robbins, but bigger. When you're meant to be the Taylor Swift of your industry. And so you're not blowing past people. You're not taking it to the moon because you're worried about what other people are going to say about you. You're worried about what they're doing and how they're taking action. When really, at your heart and soul, can I just be so real with you now? I came to win. And some of you on this call, you're playing the game as if you have like tons of other players around you versus actually being the star of the show, versus actually being the winner, which is your life. I did not start an online business to be like every other coach. I did not start an online business to just make a couple dollars per month. I did not start an online business to just serve a couple people. You started your online business to create a world-class, Buckwild, unleashed, 1% crazy movement with thousands of people around the world where you're making millions. And here's why I know this, because it's not about the money, it's not about the numbers, it's about who you become. And some of you are sitting on a gold mine of potential, a gold mine right now on this Zoom call, wherever you're at around the world. And so maybe you're at a fork in the road right now. Put Buckwild in the chat if that's you. Or you feel resistance around your next level. It's like, I know I could be going there, but I'm not 100% going there. There's a little bit of doubt. There's a little bit of, ooh, I don't know, but like the clients aren't moving, or you think that getting to that next level, you're going to have to work harder, or that it's, you know, if you make more money, you're going to be stressed out, or whatever your brain's telling you. That when you unleash yourself and you go Olympic level, you go 1% level, you go to that top level of business, that it's going to be bad. I want to completely rewrite this story today by telling you a couple stories. Or maybe you're trying to hold on to an identity. Maybe what you've built has been safe. It's been so safe. You've made great money. You've done retreats. You've had incredible clients. And you're scared that you're going to have to let go of clients, of people, of ways you've made money before. Put Buckwild in the chat if that's you. A little resistance, but pushing through. Buckwild, Buckwild, Buckwild. I literally feel that. I'm the freaking star, Buckwild, here to win. Yes. If you're on this training and you're inside of Freedom Queen, you are literally here to win. Okay? We move at lightning speed. This is why my clients blow up in their businesses. This is why when people work with me, they become internet famous. This is why they become the top of their industries, because they go buck wild. And so let's get into this. This training is going to change your life. And in fact, I'm sure even just the first 15 minutes, it already has. It's going to change your life because you're sitting on a gold mine of wealth and knowledge and potential. And you are doing an incredible disservice if you do not go for it. And look, I get it. Going for it can be scary. I get it that going for it and sending yourself to the moon and taking massive action and doing things that are polarizing, doing things that most people will never even try to do. I get it that it's scary, but I never want you to look back on your life and go, I wish I would have sent it. I wish I would have let it freaking go. I wish I would have just gone for it. So I believe, and I said this yesterday on 50 to Freedom, how many of you are inside of our Freedom Queen membership? Put a yes in the chat if you're inside of our Freedom Queen membership. I said this yesterday, I believe that we are at a point in time in the world in 2024 where things are changing. Doors are opening, doors are closing, big things. And I said this about myself, where I feel like personally, I've tapped into another level inside of Freedom Queen, and you can probably feel it. There's a different frequency happening. And I believe that at any point in time, you can decide to become a bigger version of yourself. And I want this to be the moment where you decide that that's what you're going to do. And so here's what we're going to be covering. Deciding to become a bigger version of yourself, moving at lightning speed and doing what most won't do. That's what's actually going to get you the top and get you to the 1% crazy. Does that sound cool? Okay. So Let me take you back in time. This is a very pivotal moment right now, and it'll make sense as I tell this story. 2 years ago, I was at a fork in the road. My business was great. I was making 20K cash months very consistently. I felt like, I had done retreats. I had just finished hosting my first retreat ever. It was one of my favorite retreats that I ever did. I had great clients. They were getting great results. I was selling a 5K package, to a lot of people, it had looked like I made it. But to me, internally, I felt like I was sitting on a gold mine. I'll never forget this. Robbie and I were in Portugal, and we were staying with his family. Have you ever been with your partner's family as a business owner and you feel like you're having an emotional awakening? It's a very interesting place to be, to say the least. And I felt like I was going through a huge emotional awakening. Going through an emotional awakening through a business owner is very different than somebody in a 9-to-5 job. It is. And I remember sitting at this villa in Albufeira, Portugal. And I remember questioning everything. I remember genuinely, this was in 2020. This was in 2022. I genuinely remember questioning quitting my business. This is early 2022. And this moment where I chose to go Buckwild changed everything for me. Since that, right after that, I went on to blow up in my business. I'm going to walk you through what I did, how I did it, and who I became. I went on to blow up in my business. That year, we ended at $680,000 in sales, about $500,000 in cash for the year. The next year, last year, we had $1 million cash year. And now we're almost at $1 million cash for 2024, which just blows my mind. But if I think back to the version of who I was back in 2022, when I was genuinely contemplating quitting my business, when I was feeling this resistance inside, when I was pushing through it, I was trying to go for it, but I just felt like, God, there has to be something bigger for me. There has to be something more. Like, I don't want average. I did not start this business to be like everybody else, to just make 20K cash months. And it wasn't about the money. It was about me, you sitting on so much potential. And so I decided to take the road less traveled. And I remember I was sitting at this desk, and Robbie and I had this big porch looking over the ocean in Portugal. And I remember being on a training just like this. I don't even know what the person was saying, but I just remember saying, Bridget, James, Ling, this is your time to go all in. So I know the power of these trainings. I know what this can do for you. I want you to put Buckwild in the chat if you're like, you know what, this really can be. And I don't care if you're already thriving, because like I said, I was already thriving, but I wanted to take it to another level. Or maybe you're not at that level and you're at rock bottom and you're growing from it. I want this to be a training moment where you go, I can do this. And this sets the trajectory for your $1 million, your multi-million-dollar years, just like it does for my business. And so the definition of Buckwild actually means to go crazy. The definition of Buckwild means that you're a little bit crazy. You're not like everybody else. Am I in the room with anybody that's a little bit crazy? Am I in the room with anyone that thinks a little bit differently? Am I in the room with anyone that maybe you've been on a Zoom call before and you're listening to other people speak and you're like, what the heck is going on here? You're like, I don't know about that. You're a little bit crazy. You're a little bit Buckwild. The other two words in Buckwild in the definition that I absolutely love are you're unrestrained. So unrestrained. So restrain means to like hold back, right? It means to, like, if you're restraining someone or something, you're like strapped down, you're literally restrained. And in the definition of Buckwild, you just go. And I see this happen a lot in people's businesses. They'll say, like, oh, I'm going to have a launch, but then they restrain themselves. They strap themselves in to the point of fear and doubt where they can't move because somebody didn't buy, because somebody didn't like them on the internet, someone didn't like their program or whatever. And so they restrain themselves. And maybe in your business, you've restrained yourself. You put these buckles over yourself that have now determined how you can move and how you can't move. The definition of Buckwild means to be unrestrained. Unrestrained by what people say about you, unrestrained about what people post on the internet, unrestrained about how people like you or don't like you, unrestrained about how people are buying from you. That is a piece of this. And many of you inside of this space, you're restraining yourselves. And the last piece of Buckwild is uncontrollable. How many of you are letting other things in your life control you? The economy, your industry, your clients, what people think about you. Uncontrollable. And the people that make the most money, and the reason why I've made the money that I've made today, is because of being uncontrollable. Just when you think it's like, oh, Bridget just did that thing, boom, she's on to the next thing. One of my clients said, she's like, watching you is crazy because you're always, she's like, it's my favorite TV show. You're always on to the next thing. This is what people inside of the 1% do. You're unrestrained, you're crazy, you're uncontrollable. And so after April of last year, where I decided I'm gonna actually go for it, what that looked like for me was booking a ticket to Thailand. And so I booked this ticket to Thailand. You guys can see the screen, okay, right? You can see the screen. Oh my gosh, there's 58 messages in the chat. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I have to admit, I definitely restrained myself, literally cannot be contained. Yes. You know, what's interesting about this is because Kenzie says, hi, it's me. I was so successful. And I see a lot of people, they'll listen to trainings like this, or they'll see something like 50 to Freedom and be like, I don't need to do that. I already post every day. Okay, well then why aren't you making $1 million? I'm already Buckwild. Okay, then why are you at your next level? Because I'm sitting over here going, I'm going to do 50 to Freedom and we make $200,000 cash months. I'm sitting over here going, I'm going to commit to going Buckwild more. And we're already at almost at $1 million for the year. It's silly to think that you're already Buckwild, that you're already unrestrained, that you're already crazy, that you're already uncontrollable. Okay, I'm just going to leave that there. So at the end of April of 2022, I decided to play bigger. And what that looked like for me was booking a trip to Thailand. And I'll never forget this. I was so scared to book these plane tickets. I was absolutely terrified. Being Buckwild doesn't mean you're going to feel like you know what you're doing. It doesn't, because no one's ever gone this pathway. It doesn't feel like it's safe. It's going to feel uncomfortable. And if you're going through a growth period right now, you're probably a little bit uncomfortable. Things are weird. Maybe you just had, some of my clients are having their highest cash months ever. They're like, this feels weird. What's going on here? I don't know. I had this level of power and like, what's going on? This is happening. And so I got on this, I'm in the lobby of the first class area because Robbie and I bought first class tickets. That's a whole other story of how that happened. Robbie looks over at me and says, did you tell your mom you're going to Thailand? Not that I have to tell my mom I'm going to Thailand, I'm a grown woman, but you know when you love your mom, you just tell her everything. I'm like, no. And they're like, boarding, first class, Emirates to Thailand. I'm like, Mom, I'm going to Thailand. And so I jet set to Thailand, and this picture on the screen was taken during quarantine at our hotel that we had to stay at. And the reason why this is so pivotal is because at that hotel, I decided to host a free masterclass. Maybe some of you were on that free masterclass in May of 2022. And I delivered an incredible masterclass. And I remember it was at 6 in the morning, just like this one is at this morning. It's crazy how cyclical things are. And so I woke up at 5 in the morning. I delivered this masterclass, and I'm sitting on this coffee table. My laptop's on a coffee table. Robbie's next to me in bed still. No one ever knew this. I'm like exposing myself. Robbie's next to me. I'm doing this masterclass. I'm delivering. It's awesome. It's 6 in the morning. And I remember feeling scared. I remember feeling like, I don't actually know if this is going to work. I remember feeling like, geez, Louise, it's 6 in the morning. I'm kind of tired to be doing this. And here's the thing, it all worked. That month was my first $30,000 cash month. I broke through the ceiling while being afraid, while being terrified, not knowing if it's going to work. And some of you aren't moving. You're not doing the crazy action that you know is going to make you money, that you know is going to unleash you, because you think it's not going to work. It's only going to not work if you don't work. And so I remember taking this photo. It's kind of blurry. I'm in the robe, and I remember looking at myself in the mirror and going, it's time. I remember having this like reckoning moment with myself saying, it's time to play bigger. And so right after that, check this out. Look at this switch that I go from. So from May to June, boom, something has shifted in my energy. And so in the beginning of when you're deciding to go buck wild, it might feel like this. Okay. It might feel like a little bit resistance. You might feel like, I don't know if this is going to work. Oh gosh, I got to wake up at what time? Who's going to come on the call? What's happening? This is terrifying. I haven't even told anyone that I'm doing this. You don't actually know if it's going to work, but through going buck wild, unleashing yourself and deciding to play bigger, which means taking the actions that your future self will be taking, you're going to see explosion. So that next month, you guys, that next month inside of my business, there's me here. You see the difference between these two? Look at this. Here, reckoning, here, unleash, let's go. Hello, I'm Bridget James Lang. This month, we almost have our first $40,000 cash month. So I don't play the game of like having one-off big cash months. What I teach my clients to do is to be able to grow the business. Now, you might have growth and come back and level out, but the way that I teach people is for you to keep growing. You should keep growing. And so come June, I'm turned on. I'm like, let's go. I'll never forget. I walked downstairs. We're living in Thailand at the time. I walked downstairs. As I'm going down the steps, God's like, you got to run this program called Sales for the Summer. This is in 2022. I'm like, what? God's like, you got to run this program called Sales for the Summer. I'm like, okay, I'm going to run this program called Sales for the Summer, everybody, because I'm on fire, even though I'm terrified, and it's just crazy. And so I run this program called Sales for the Summer. It sells out like that. And actually, we just did, how many of you were in Sales for the Summer masterclass and you joined the mini mind? That was a huge launch. We brought it back this year. Imagine if I didn't listen to that. Imagine if I said, that's so silly. I already ran a program already. I just had a sold out launch for Manifesting Freedom Academy. Why would you run Sales for the Summer? Uncontrollable, unrestrained, 1% crazy, buck wild. You want buck wild results? Stop moving like how Sally's moving. Sally's great, but you're not Sally. You have more potential. So this month, I do something crazier. I drop Sales for the Summer. I'm terrified. Robbie and I are living in Chiang Mai, Thailand. We don't even like the city, but we're like, we're going to hold it out. We're going through so many challenges. And then I say, I'm going to pay off my student loan debt. And I had like $50,000 left on my student loan debt. I'm looking at my bank account and I'm like, I have enough money to pay off my student loan debt and to like survive and invest in myself and make investments in my long-term investment strategy. I'm going to pay this off. I'm going to do it. And I'll never forget that moment sitting on that couch in Chiang Mai, Thailand, going, paid in full, done. Sally Mae, you will never own me anymore. No one will. What are the things that are owning you in your life? What are the things that are over your head right now? Maybe you have credit card debt. Get out of it. Maybe you have, I don't know, what's controlling you in your life? Maybe you're still in a job. It's your responsibility to get yourself out of it. Inside of Buck Wild, no one's coming to save you. And so right after that month in June, I say, let's take it to another level. And come July of 2022, Robbie and I were back in Koh Samui, this island that we live in. And this is when things start really shifting for me. This time in my life, I had to sacrifice a little bit. I had to sacrifice a little bit in my life during this time period. And I'll go there. I know some people won't go there with you, but I'm going to go there with you. I had to sacrifice some of my time. I was living in Thailand for the first time ever, and I decided I wanted to go buck wild. And at that time, I didn't have Freedom Queen like I have today. Those photos of me were really just getting started. And so I had to stay up late. I don't know if any of you ever remember that time period, but I was staying up till like 2 in the morning. I was sleeping like in the guest room on these bunk beds, and I would wake up in the morning, I'd come back on, go into IG Live, Freedom Queen Live, let's freaking go. And I loved that. I'm not doing that now because I have a totally different strategy in business now. But that was a moment in time for me. That was a moment in time where I had to seize the day. And I remember people saying to me, some people were like, whoa, Bridge, you're really going for it. Like, I don't know how you're doing that. Yeah, because you're not me. You're taking feedback from people that don't have the potential, the gold mine that you're sitting on. I just need to know, Paul, how are you guys loving this 2-day event? How are you loving this so far? Are you just like, I can see how I can actually do this through this story? Obsessed. Hey, Kayla. Are you seeing how it's like, okay, this is actually possible for me? MK Love, amazing. So at this time, I had to sacrifice a little bit in my life. And that was hard for me. I have a relationship. I was living in a new place in Thailand. But at the same time, I knew that if I wanted something bigger than everybody else, I had to do what most were unwilling to do. And I knew that people in the online space were just starting to know what Freedom Queen was. And so I was like, okay, this is my time to seize the day. Let's go bigger. So I dropped this mastermind, this Visionary Mastermind. Some of you were inside of it, actually. Visionary Mastermind, and I drop it, and I'm so excited. I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm like, Visionary Mastermind, you want to be the visionary of your life. It was like 4K, maybe 4K, it went up to 6K. I'm like, Visionary Mastermind, this is going to be so big. I have 10 spots available, and I put it out on the internet, and for a week, nobody buys. Watch this. 1 week, nobody buys. And I'm like, all right, I came here to win. And I know that in order to get people to buy, all I need to do is be buck wild. And being buck wild means talking about the offer more, getting in front of people more, getting better at messaging it. So one person buys the offer after 10 days of talking about it, and I am ecstatic. I'm like, yes, it was this woman's name, Aaliyah. She's amazing. She's a manifestation mentor. She buys it, and I put her name on a Post-it note, and I'm like, Aaliyah's in, and I'm dancing in front of it. I'm like, let's freaking go. I'm going to sell this thing out in this bunk bed makeshift room. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, now 9 people left, and then 8 people left. And next thing you know, people start buying. 8 people left. I put someone's name up on the sticky note. For those of you that are coming to Freedom Queen Live, every single time someone buys a ticket, my mom puts your name on her wall, and she prays over you every single day. If you already have a ticket for Freedom Queen Live, know that my mother Freedom Queen, she's praying over you every day. And so I do this because I'm just like, just like your mom, apparently. So I put the post-it on my wall. I'm like, Aaliyah's in, Shayna's in, all these people are in. And I get down to the mastermind's about to start. And I say to myself, well, I'm a woman of my word. I do what I say I'm going to do. And 9 people are in. I'm like, but I said 10 people were going to be in, and I'm a woman of my word above anything else. Oh, that gets me emotional. I'm a woman of my word above anything else. And so I say, you know what? I don't care that 9 people are in. Somehow, some way, 10 people are going to join this. So I go, before I get on the Zoom call like this, and I'm like, Visionary Mastermind is open for those of you that want to join. DM me whatever word to apply for it. We'll see if you're a good fit. I get on the mastermind call just like I am today, and I'm delivering. I'm like, let's go. People's lives are changing. Actually, one of the women inside of there, she's now currently in my 6-month mastermind for people going to 100K months. When I met her, she joined Visionary. How many of you guys know Shayna? How many of you guys know Shayna? I don't think that she's on here with us now. But Shayna, when she joined, she made like, oh gosh, I think it was under a $5,000 a month. She's now doing $50,000 months consistently. She was one of the people that bought those 10 spots. So I get on, and after the call, I'm delivering. It's incredible. Shayna's on that call. So many other amazing women. Maybe you know them in the online space. They were on that call. And I get off, and someone says to me, Bridge, I would love to join the Visionary Mastermind. Can I pay in full? I didn't move by way of evidence. I moved by way of faith. I said I was going to do something. You're a woman of your word, and your words have so much power. Your words have so much strength in them. Are you speaking words of life over yourself, of life over your programs, of life over your sales? Or are you speaking down on yourself? When you speak down, you will go down. But when you speak up, you will go up. And one of the most powerful things you can do is think courageously. It is one of the most powerful things you can do. And so I decided to think up. And we sold out the mastermind 10 spots in. So the next mastermind launch, the very next month, July, August, I go into selling the F It Up Mastermind. And you can already start to see, if you look at like the difference in the branding, I want you to be so observant. At this time in August, Robbie and I had just moved into this villa here. I'll give you guys like a little tour. There's our laundry. We had just moved into this villa here. And I'll never forget, I walked into that doorway right there. I walked into that doorway. You guys want to see the ocean for a second? You want to see the ocean for a second? Hi, Val. Yes. Okay, let me see if I can show you. You can see the ocean out there. And so I'll never forget coming into this view here. And I remember saying to myself, this is going to be your first $50,000 cash month. You ever just had a knowing inside your soul, this is going to be your first $50,000 cash month? And so I walk into this house going, 50K cash month, that's what it's going to be. I just know it in my bones. I know it in my soul. And so I start taking these photos. These photos here on the screen, actually, many of them, besides the plane, were taken right here in this living room. I said, you're going to shift. And I invested in an event. And I also invested in a mastermind that was bigger than me. It was for people that were making 100K cash months. I was not making 100K cash months, but I was like, get me in that room, because I know that that's where I'm going to be. So let's go. And so I launched the Fuck It Up Mastermind. And that mastermind launch was a $94,000 launch because I nonstop showed up for it. And then I said, well, what is like crazy? What's courageous? What's brave? What's uncontrollable? What's very freedom queen of me? To sell out this launch, I did upstairs, I choreographed a dance to sell out this launch. And it made no sense. It was totally Buckwild, and it worked. My launch video was a video of me saying, fuck it up. And that made me $94,000. What ideas are you sitting on that are maybe weird, that are maybe different? You've never seen Sally do it because Sally doesn't have your potential, but you're holding yourself back from doing it because you're afraid what people are going to think of you. So I launched it with that choreographed dance, $94,000. Now, at the same time of all of this is happening, September comes around and I'm selling a retreat in Portugal. How many of you saw this retreat in Portugal? How many of you saw this retreat in Portugal? In 2021, I said to myself, I'm going to host a retreat inside of a castle. I'm going to host a retreat inside of a castle. Who wants to come? And I still have the Instagram story for proof. I'm going to do this. And because I'm a woman of my word, I then go and sell a retreat in a castle, and the retreat sells out. And this was a very difficult retreat for me because I felt like I evolved. Have you ever evolved past where you once were, but you still have to deliver the thing because you said you were going to deliver on the thing because you're a woman of your word? And I felt like I had quantum leaped inside of my business. I just made my first $50,000, a $62,000 cash month inside of this villa. And then I'm flying to Portugal to host a retreat inside of this beautiful castle in Portugal. And I felt like I had changed. Maybe you've experienced this with your own clients. Maybe you feel like you've outgrown people and now you're afraid to show up. I would love to know inside of the chat. But I'm going to deliver the most insane experience. And the women had the most incredible experience after this castle retreat. And I remember leaving this castle retreat saying, it's time to go bigger. So I get back from the castle retreat. I'm back in Costa Rica. And I say to myself, what would be the most Buckwild thing? What would be the most courageous, most freedom queen thing I could do right now? I just finished hosting a retreat. It's 5 days. You think I would be so exhausted. You think I would be tired. I just went to my second year of going to this conference that I love going to in Florida. And I'm so reinvested. I'm so back in my business. So what would be crazy? Hosting another event this year. Okay, are you tracking with me? I just finished an event and now I'm like, and I just went to an event and now I'm like, let's host another event. But here's the thing, catch this. You're gonna host it this year and you're only gonna give yourself 2 months to sell it. Oh, and you're gonna make the ticket price be the same price that you charge for a 5-day event in Costa Rica. I mean, in Portugal. Has your higher self ever given you something that just is like, wait a second, hold on. Has your higher self ever given you an idea and you're like, oh my gosh, what? You want me to do what? But maybe some of you aren't listening to it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this New York City event. I'm gonna take it to the moon. I don't know how. I'm going to host it during Christmas time because that sounds like a great idea. Some of you actually are on this live at this event, which is so fun. And then I say I'm going to hire a trainer. Oh, and I'm going to start making 100K month. So I'm going full Buckwild in full Freedom Queen fashion. I hire a personal trainer. I hit my first 100K sales month, not cash, but my first 100K sales month. Programs are selling out like crazy. And then amongst all of this, I decide to pay $25,000 for a one-to-one weekend that was going to happen like 6 months later around the world in a completely different place. So none of this makes sense. I'm making Buckwild moves. And that's why I have insane results that I have today. Launching offers that don't make sense, getting in rooms that don't make sense, getting inside of a 100K month mastermind that now I'm not making 100K months, but I'm like, I should be. So get me inside of that space. Why are you inside of some of the spaces that are like validating you where you're at versus pushing you to the next level? Once you've won the game in one arena, get to the next arena. Unless it validates you and makes you feel good. And that's really what you're here for. Growth is uncomfortable. Like somebody needs to hear that today. And so I host the New York City event. We have 15 amazing people at this event and I'm speaking, I do the photo shoot, everything is absolutely blowing up. And I'm like, boom, we're gonna take this into 2023 now. So I get into 2023, I have a sold out mastermind. I do a $225,000 mastermind launch. And here's the thing about that launch. Although I was already super successful, although I was already going Buckwild crazy, I felt like I could play even bigger. I felt like I could play even bigger. And so I do the mastermind launch and I sell $225,000 worth of the mastermind. And there were so many moments in that launch where I felt like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Where I felt like this is kind of scary. This is kind of Buckwild. I don't know if people are going to buy. $225,000 later, that mastermind is full. No one else can come inside of that mastermind. The next thing that happens is right after that, I hit my first $1 million. Do you notice how throughout all of the, like everything that I'm talking about here, do you notice how all I'm doing is taking massive action? Do you notice how, and I want you to just put it in the chat, what are some of the themes that you're seeing throughout this story that I'm going through? What are some of the themes? I want you to call it out. Back yourself 100%, your boldness and tenacity, deep belief in self, perseverance, conviction, moving before you think you're ready. Yeah. Trusting, uncomfortable on every level, Biz Coach Gerline, so uncomfortable. I'll never forget the first IG story I made to sell my extraordinary mastermind that was a $225,000 launch. I remember posting the Instagram story and thinking to myself, this was in 2022, thinking, people gonna buy from that? I remember thinking that. But some of you, you're not posting that cringe story. Some of you aren't selling to your audience because you think that people aren't going to buy when really they're just waiting for you to sell to them. You can be so nervous. You can be so afraid. You cannot know what to do. You can be so terrified to host your first event. I remember my first retreat ever. Robbie and I were talking about it last night. And I said to him, Robbie, do you remember before my first retreat, I had just sold it out? And I was sitting at my computer planning, like on the couch like this, with my laptop on. And I remember looking at Robbie, he has this photo of me. I think we're gonna show it at Freedom Queen Live because it's so embarrassing. I look at him and go, Robbie, could you please tell every single client to not come to Costa Rica tomorrow and just turn their plane around and not come, and we're just gonna cancel it. That was my first ever event. I had just made 6 figures that year. And so you're waiting for the confidence. You're waiting for the thing to happen when actually what you need to do is just move. And so let's go forward to February of 2023. I hit my first million. And I'm so excited. I'm in Montreal with one of my mentors. I'm flying to Mexico with Robbie to attend masterminds. I'm at Russell Brunson's mastermind and my mind is being blown. And I'm launching offers. I'm selling different things on the internet. I have our membership, the headquarters, and our mastermind. And I'm selling out all of my offers. And it is amazing. And then June comes around and Robbie surprises me and I get my 2 Comma Club award and Robbie surprises me with my parents coming to Mexico, and it's incredible. And I call my mom up. I'm like, Mom, what would be so buck wild? What would be so buck wild? It would be for us to go to Paris. Mom, do you want to go to Paris? Do you want to do a mother-daughter trip with me? She's like, yes. You want to go to Paris in Italy? And so because of the business that I've created, because of Freedom Queen, my bookkeeping team is always like, can we become Freedom Queen? Because you are amazing and you have crazy profit margin. This is insane. So I book us a trip to Paris, and my mom, leading up to Paris, she loses all this weight and she gets so healthy. And still to this day, she looks incredible. It was a turning point for her. It was a moment for her where we set the event. We said we were going to do something. And then we went and did it. Because we set the tone for what we were going to do, she then went and took action to make it happen so that by the time we got to Paris, she looked incredible. So we get to Paris, we're having the time of our lives. We're in Paris, we're in Italy. Oh, I'm doing photo shoots. Some of you right now, what you might need to do is do an up level in your branding. How many of you remember that photo shoot that I did with the piano? Do you guys remember that? There was like a piano in the room. I was outside. I was in the bathtub. How many of you remember that photo shoot? That photo shoot for me was a really, really big turning point in my business. Because again, it was a moment for me where I had to decide to play bigger. I had to decide to play at another level. And so I did. I booked the photo shoot. And I'll never forget, after that photo shoot, I went to this store in New York City, and I had my eyes on this necklace that I wanted. It had these great big studs coming off of it, these gold studs. It's a choker. And I walked into that store and was like, I'm going to play at a bigger level now. I'm going to go Buckwild. And that day was a 10K cash day for me. And so I got the necklace. I remember walking home in New York City. We were staying in Times Square. And I walk in and I show Robbie the necklace and I say, I got this necklace for myself. I'm going to play on a bigger level. Where are you denying yourself of the levels that you want to be playing at? You're making yourself feel silly for investing in that program, for going to that event, for buying that necklace, for booking the photo shoot, even though you know at your core that that's what you want to be doing. And so right after that, my mom and I, we go to Paris and we had the time of our lives. And I, during the trip, say to myself, what could be even more Buckwild than this? What could be even crazier than this? I'm going to upgrade my mom and I to stay at the St. Regis in Florence. And I don't tell her this until we're in the cab ride there. So as we're getting to the cab ride there, I'm like, Mom, we're staying at the St. Regis. And we go into the St. Regis and I got us a suite. And if you've ever stayed at the St. Regis, they're really amazing. We just stayed at the one in New York City. And you go in and you get a butler. And as you're walking into our hotel room, we have like a lobby inside of our hotel room, or like a foyer inside of our hotel room. And my mom thinks that we're walking into like another hallway inside of the St. Regis. And so me and the butler were taking our shoes off because we know that we're inside the suite. But my mom's like, where's the room? Where's our hotel room? And I'll never forget that. I'm like, Mom, we're in our room. Like this, we have the suite ourselves. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to upgrade us. We actually had another hotel book that I ended up canceling. I couldn't even get a refund on it. And I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to spend a couple $1,000s on this hotel room for us. That's what we're going to do here. And same thing, the mind wants to tell you, it's so great and it's so fun and so amazing. We had the best time ever, but here's real talk. My mind was saying, you don't need to spend that. You don't need to do these things. You already have a hotel. You're not going to get the refund on that. Why would you do this? Why would you upgrade yourself? You don't need to be here, but I'm going to go forward anyways. This is your life that we're talking about. We want to create extraordinary events, extraordinary things. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to upgrade it even when it doesn't make sense. I'm going to get in the room even when it doesn't make sense. I'm going to find the way to make it happen. And so right after that trip, I get back to the United States after that trip with my mom. And I guess I didn't share this here. I get to walk the stage at a conference that I went to. How many of you are coming to Freedom Queen Live? How many of you are coming to Freedom Queen Live? Put a yes in the chat if you already have your ticket for Freedom Queen Live. Yes. If you guys haven't gotten your hotel room yet, make sure that you book your hotel room. So I go to this conference and I get to walk the stage and get my award. Now, put Buckwild in the chat if you're going to walk the stage at Freedom Queen Live. Put Buckwild in the chat if you're going to walk the stage at Freedom Queen Live. In order to walk the stage, you get a 100K award, you have to make 100K. 500K award, you have to make it 500K, or $1 million plus award, you get to walk the stage and potentially speak on the stage with Freedom Queen. So yeah, put Buckwild in the chat. And so I get to walk this stage. And I'm walking the stage with my award, and I get up there and I take a picture with Russell Brunson, who's one of my mentors. And I remember little me not too long ago from then studying his work, studying funnels, studying sales, and feeling like, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to figure it out. And I also want you to put in the chat, which award are you going for? 100K, 500K, or $1 million award? Put it in the chat. And so I walk this stage, and at the end of the conference, Russell asks us, do you want to join this offer? Do you want to join this $50,000 offer. Now I already had mentorship. I already had made $1 million, but I was like, I'm going to do this anyways. I'm going to make this happen. And so what happens is I am sitting there and I have two options. I'm like looking at the $50,000 offer and I'm like, okay, I can do this and see what happens and completely change my life, or I can like not do this, go back to Costa Rica and kind of just live an average life. So I do something I don't need to be doing. I invest $50,000. Actually, it was $45,000 because I paid in full. If you paid in full, you saved. $45,000 I pay in full that day. I don't need this. I've already made $1 million in my business cash, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to do something that doesn't make sense to most people. And so right after that, I go and I host a New York City weekend with one of my clients, Lauren. How many of you remember seeing this New York City weekend? And in that weekend, I remember I'm falling asleep at night at the plaza in the hotel room. How many of you want to do a VIP weekend with me? I'm thinking Italy, New York City, Costa Rica, we can go wherever. And so I'm doing this weekend with Lauren. And I remember that Friday night before our second day together, I remember saying to myself, I want to play bigger. And what you'll notice during each of these moments throughout the story that I'm telling with you today or sharing with you today is that it's just these little micro moments where I go, okay, I'm going to play bigger now. Okay, I'm going to take it to another level. Okay, here we go. And so that Friday night, I dropped this offer called the 50K month mini mind. And I don't know why, but I just knew in my soul that it was going to sell out immediately. I didn't need to drop it. I had already so much monthly recurring revenue. We built our monthly recurring revenue up now to $100,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. So that's the minimum. Like, I don't need to do this, but I desire to. I want to play at a bigger level. What are the offers that you're not dropping? What are the things you get this idea? It didn't make sense. It was 11 p.m. I didn't have a sales page. I just put together a Stripe link and was like, okay, here, buy now. You're calling me out, Steph says. Val says it's already happening. Yeah, Val and I are going to Paris. Actually, get this. Val's coming to Freedom Queen Live, our conference, and then we're going to Paris together like 2 weeks after. And Val has a baby. Like, she's like the hottest mom on the block. Go follow her. But we're going to Paris together. She's coming to Freedom Queen Live, then going to Paris. So anyways, I dropped this 50K month mini mind and it sells out in my sleep. Imagine I didn't do that idea. Imagine I said, you know what? We're not going to do this anymore. I don't know if people are going to buy it. I put a Stripe link up on my Instagram stories and it sells out. It sells out in my sleep. And so right after that, because I invested $50,000 in my business, pause. Are you guys with me? Put a yes in the chat if you guys are with me right now while I get a sip of water at 7 in the morning. Put a yes in the chat. Is this the Buckwild Masterclass, or is this like a boring webinar where you guys are like, I don't know, some bots in the chat? This is Buckwild Masterclass. Come on now, turn it up a little bit. Yes. I'm here, Buckwild. So good. Hey, Jay. Love it. So I get to, now, hey, Nicole. So I get to go to this mastermind event. And as I'm getting to the mastermind event, sometimes when I get really excited, I get super nervous. Does that happen for anybody? When I get super excited, when I know that there's an opportunity around, I get super nervous. And this has happened to me my whole entire business career. From the first time I did a sales call, from the first time I had to sell an offer in person at my first retreat. I remember going into the bathroom and going like I'm doing breathing techniques, okay? And so, yes, I do that. My heart beats fast. My heart is beating fast right now. And so I get to this event that I paid $50,000 to be at. I invest in this mastermind. I don't go to any of the coaching. I just go to the events because I know the power of events. And so I get to this event And Russell sends out an email like the day before. He's like, by the way, you got to present for 20 minutes. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I have to do what? I have to present for 20 minutes? Are you sure? In front of you? Okay. Amazing. And so I go in person and I prep this presentation. I blow it out of the park. Russell's messaging me like, great presentation. I love what you're doing. He follows me on Instagram. Actually, he's going to come on our podcast and we're going to do something on the business coaching podcast. And that moment changed the game for me. Right after that event, I went on to have my first $100,000 week. $100,000 week, not a month. The year before, it was happening in a month. Now it's happening in a week. Now we can have $100,000 days sales. All because I decided to move. All because I decided to play bigger. And then I get back from this event. I hope that you're tracking here the different pillars of this. I get back from this event and I say, let's host an event in Costa Rica. It was a behind the scenes event. It wasn't a big public facing event. 3 of my mastermind clients are like, I'm in, I want to come to Costa Rica. Sure. Oh my gosh, and my computer's saying low battery, so we got to keep moving. So my clients are like, yes, I want to be here at this event with you. They come to Costa Rica. Courtney has her first 100K sales month. Alex has her first 50K cash month. Jen is blowing up and starting her new business and everything is changing. And on top of that, I'm buying a house in Costa Rica. Have you ever bought a house? Okay, it is hard. Have you ever bought a house in a foreign country or that's not your first language and there's a different currency that you're buying in? That is even harder. And so I buy this house and I'm like, or I'm working on it. I'm like, I have no idea how this is going to happen, but I make it happen anyways because I do what I say I'm going to do. And we get this house in Costa Rica and there's all these other stories around this. And then we come to this year. We come to this year in 2024 and I'm like, I'm ready to play even bigger. Are you ready to play even bigger? Are you actually here to create something extraordinary, or are you just going to keep getting the same results that you've gotten every single year? Or are you going to play at another level? Oh, I did change the slide. Has it been the castle one the whole time? Were you guys not seeing these slides the whole time? Team Freedom Planet just messaged me. It was, well, I'm going, we felt them. Olga's like, we felt them in our soul. Look, I'm pointing out, like, here's my personal training. Here's me in New York City weekend. Why didn't you guys say anything earlier? Here's my mastermind. Here's the flowers from a million. Let's go through these. Here, your storytelling is better than the slides. Here's my $1 million. Let's just take, you're visualizing it. Here's me in Mexico getting my 2 Combo Cup award. Here's my mom. Like, I'm like, how are you guys not seeing this? Here's my mom. Here's the photos of me inside of that photo shoot. I wasn't even looking at this. Like, you're just listening in. I love it so much. Here's the 2 Combo Cup award. Here's me in Paris. Here's me at New York City event with my private client. I'm in the spa getting ready to get a massage. And I'm like, who wants to come to a New York City event with me? Somebody inside of Freedom Queen, she actually took a picture of this and she was like, I'm coming to this. I'm coming to New York City. I don't know how, I don't know when. Here's me with Russell Brunson. I have to do this speech on stage. This is me right before I'm going to speak on that right outfit. And I'm literally shaking. I'm like, oh, hello everyone. Because I get so excited. Because you know what happens when you get excited about something? It means that you're on the verge of something. If you've ever been nervous about something, it means that you're on the verge of something really, really big. And so here's my house in Costa Rica. Oh my gosh, I miss my house, even though we're in this beautiful villa. Here's my clients inside of the retreat with us. And then here's Robbie and I in January of 2024. And I decide to play bigger. So Robbie and I fly to Dubai. I actually wasn't going to go on this Dubai trip, but I'm so glad that I did. I'm going to say that again. I actually wasn't going to go on this Dubai trip, but I'm so glad that I did. And so we go to Dubai. This is for Robbie's business, not mine. I have no business being there. I invest in the plane tickets. Robbie and I fly first class. We go to Dubai, and I'm like, I'm gonna blow this out of the water even more. I invest in 2 photo shoots and a video shoot while we're there. How many of you remember seeing these photos? I didn't need to go there. I could have stayed at home in my gorgeous house in Costa Rica. You guys can see the screen now, right? I'm there showing up for my business regardless. And so the next month, I'm like, let's take it to another level. Let's go to Vail. Robbie and I book a trip to Vail. We're showing up. We're learning how to ski. We're falling on our faces on the magic carpet in Vail. We're staying at the Four Seasons. None of this makes sense. I'm still showing up for my business. I'm still dropping new offers. I'm still investing in myself, all while going through these things. So I'm at Vail, and right after that, Robbie and we get to fly private to go to a really semi-private to a really amazing event. Now, this is all Robbie's doing. I didn't book this. Robbie booked this. And it's scary. I'm like, what if people think I'm weird for flying semi-private? But I'm going to do it anyways because this is my life. You know how many times I've chosen to take action in my business? I've chosen to do something, and then somebody hates on it. Oh, you don't need to travel. You don't need to fly first class. You don't need to do any of those things. But those are things that if you want to do them, you can't deny yourself in doing those things. Being buck wild doesn't mean that you move like everybody else. Being buck wild means that you do what most people are unwilling to do. And people are going to hate on you. People aren't going to like you. And you're going to get judgment. Do you know how many times throughout this story that I'm going through, I got haters? I got people who didn't like me. I got people who would make posts. Do you think that stopped a winner from winning? Do you think that can stop you from going to the top? Do you know how many times after a photo shoot, someone's made a post that's like, you don't need photo shoots like this? You cannot let these things stop you, no matter what other people are saying. Buck wild, crazy, unrestrained, uncontrollable doesn't mean that you're going to be like everybody else. Buck wild means that you're going to be different than everybody else. And so I do things that are different. And so we get to June of 2024. And I say to myself, May, June, I'm going to play even bigger. I invest in another weekend with a mentor. It's more money. It doesn't make sense. I don't even need this. I don't tell anyone about it. I just go for me. And while we're there, we rent a studio in New York City. Not a studio, like a studio theater in New York City. Just for me. And now I'm not saying that you need to go and rent an entire theater in New York City. I'm not saying you need to do these photo shoots, but what are the things that you are denying yourself from? What are the scary things that you know you want to be doing that you are denying yourself from? Maybe it's attending an event. Maybe it's dropping an offer. Maybe it's making that really, really, really polarizing piece of content on the internet that you want to be making. Put it inside of the chat. What are some of those things that you're absolutely terrified of doing? What are some of those things that if you did this, you know it might offend people? You know it might make people judge you. And so coming into Thailand now, in July, I decided to bring an entire production team to my house on June 30th, so the last day of June, July. Bring an entire production team to my house record all of our videos. These are now our videos that are going to be posted. In 2 hours, we recorded 50 short form pieces of content on a Sunday. Now, some people might say, that doesn't sound like work. That doesn't sound like, oh, you got your hair and makeup done and you did a photo shoot. Do you actually know? It's work. It requires work and effort to do hair, makeup, waking up super early in the morning, having the production team come, prepping all of your hooks, prepping all of your content that you're going to be doing. So much work and effort, yeah. And so now this is where I bring it to you. What are the big things that you want to be doing in your life? What are the big moves that you want to be making? And tomorrow on our second day inside, are you guys going to be here tomorrow? Put a yes in the chat if you're going to be here tomorrow. Put a yes in the chat. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, hey, Isabel. Hey, Belle. Oh my gosh. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a Q&A. It's at the same time. Bring your pajamas, bring your tea. It's going to be my morning. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a Q&A and some hot seat coaching. Hi, I love this so much. And I'm going to be going through this a little bit more. Now I have 3% on my battery, so I'm going to try and go through this as quick as possible, but as succinct as possible. So Team Freedom Queen, get our links ready. So in 2024, I've decided to do something crazy. Not for me, but for you. How many of you know what it is? Put it in the chat if you already know. I've decided to do something that scares me. I'd be lying to you if I said, man, this feels good. This feels fine. I've hosted so many retreats in the last 3 years. I've done small events. I've done VIP weekends, but in 2024, actually in 2023, I said to myself, we're going to host a conference. We're going to host a conference and I'm going to be terrified to do it. I'm going to do something that no one else in my industry is doing. And so in 2023, I get on a YouTube live and I say, we're hosting our very first conference. And the same day I drop it, we sell a ticket. It's a Stripe link. I have no idea when, I have no idea where, but I say I'm going to do this. And now Freedom Queen Live is 90 days away. And so can I tell you about this crazy Freedom Queen Live bundle offer we're doing right now for the next 7 days? Can I tell you guys about this? Are you ready? Put a yes in the chat if you guys want to hear it. Put a yes in the chat. Ready? Tiffany says yes, yes. Samaya says yes. Yes, please. Okay. So Freedom Queen Live times Buckwild. This is an offer that's only going to be available for the next 7 days. And I'm going to go through everything that's included in it. And I want you to stay and like hear everything. Because as I was building out this offer over the last weekend, when I was thinking about how Freedom Queen's going to go to another level, I was thinking, what can I do to make this be the most insane offer where you become unrecognizable in the next 90 days? Oh my gosh, my computer's going to die. So let's go. Okay. Screen is glitching because battery is dying. Okay. Should I go plug the computer in? What do we do? Plug the computer in. Tour, house tour. Plug it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Run, Ranger. It's plugged in. This is going to be us at Freedom Queen Live. Okay, is it okay now? Embodying the Buckwild energy. Let's go. Okay, so the Buckwild Freedom Queen offer. So here's the Buckwild offer, and let me know if I'm still glitching. So the offer is, if you want to go Buckwild in the next 90 days, because we have 90 days leading up to Freedom Queen Live, what you're going to be doing is become someone who is unrecognizable. Is anybody here for a quantum leap? Does anyone here in the next 90 days, when you come to Freedom Queen Live, want to be like, how did I become her? Do you want to walk into Freedom Queen Live? Oh my God, thank God we charge us 1% now. It's charging, thank goodness gracious. But do you want to walk into Freedom Queen Live and be like, What's up, everybody? The first night of Freedom Queen Live, we're going to be having a mixer with everybody in the room. Everyone's going to be decked out, dressed up. The second day of Freedom Queen Live, we have all-day speakers and events, workshops. The next day of Freedom Queen Live, we have all-day speakers and events. Lunch is included in your ticket itself. Team Freedom Queen, go ahead and put the link, the Freedom Queen Live link in the chat for anyone that wants to fast purchase it before I tell you all of the crazy bonuses that we're doing today. This is Buckwild energy. Thank God my computer was dying because now I'm standing, which is a whole different energy. So on Saturday, inside of the Freedom Queen Live event, we're going to have the award ceremony. So for those of you that are already coming, you're going to be able to walk across the stage, come up, take a picture with me, stand in front of everybody, and get a special thing that we're doing for people that actually get the award on Saturday. And then Sunday, we have our closing ceremony. And people that are staying through for VIP, you guys get access to a VIP coaching session on Sunday. So inside of the Buckwild offer, I think Team Freedom Queen put the link in the chat. Yep, Team Freedom. Can you guys click on that link and make sure that it works? We were having an issue with a link recently. So you get the Buckwild become unrecognizable, and I'm going to go through it. Works amazing. You guys, if you buy your ticket live on the call with me here, put like I'm in inside of the chat, and then I'm going to tell you all the bonuses that you guys have gotten. Now, Lena, I know that you bought your ticket yesterday, so you're going to get all of this included. So you get the 4 days in-person event for $497, which is unheard of. If you want to upgrade to VIP, just put upgrade in the chat, Kenzie, and then we're going to send you the upgrade link if you want to upgrade and wait till you hear about these bonuses. If you already have your ticket and you want to upgrade to VIP, put upgrade in the chat and we'll get it for you. So you get the Buckwild offer. You get to come to the in-person event. And then you guys want to see everything that I'm dropping inside of this offer. So here's what's included. Buckwild times Freedom Queen. You get a 4-week mini mind that starts next Monday. And inside of this mini mind, we're going to have 4 live calls on Zoom with me. So just like we did today, but it's going to be maybe a smaller group, depending on how many people end up purchasing tickets, but 4 live calls. And then for 4 weeks, you're going to have 1 day a week with me inside of Telegram. And this is where you're going to get coached on and be able to ask me questions about how you can go buck wild. Because I've told you how I've been going buck wild, but how you can go buck wild is completely different. And many of you right now, you're plugged in to people's systems, ideas, beliefs that don't equal buck wild. And when you're inside of a room, when you're inside of a space like this, you're so much more likely to stay in that energy and compound it. So you're going to get coached on how to go buck wild, which means how to increase your income, how to move at lightning speed, and how to deal with all of the things that ultimately come up when you're someone who is going for more in your life. So you get the Buckwild Mini Mind. You get access to the Freedom Queen Live Conference, the 2024 conference. If you already have your ticket to this, I'll explain more at the end. You get the Down in the DMs course. So that is our course happening next week. It's 2-week live course on how to create feed content, how to sell on your Instagram stories, and then how to have DM conversations. And you get the 50 to Freedom Queen membership for the first 50 days of the Freedom Queen, 50 to Freedom. So the 4-week Buckwild Mini Mind, we start on Monday. When you join, you get 4 weeks of 4 live calls, 1 day a week inside of Telegram, where we're going through again how to increase your income, how to move at lightning speed, and how to deal with everything that's going to come up, because I watch all of you. And so many of you this summer said like, I'm in the money zone. I'm so excited to build my business. But then I'm seeing a lot of you slow down. I'm seeing a lot of you not actually show up in the energy, with the messaging, with the copy that you could be showing up as. And so inside of the Buckwild Mini Mind, this is something that we're going to be focusing on. Once you guys buy your ticket, put it in the chat, because there's a bonus that you get only when you buy live on this call. So the value of just the Buckwild Mini Mind that's 4 week is $4,000, because I charge $1,000 per hour. I actually charge more than that. I charge $2,000 an hour for private coaching with me. So it's $4,000. Next thing you get is the Freedom Queen 4-day in-person event, which is insane, for $497, or when you upgrade to VIP at $997. Now, if you already have your ticket to Freedom Queen Live, this is the first time you're hearing this. I know many of you already do. You get the unrecognizable challenge, where over the next 90 days, what we're going to be doing inside of the Freedom Queen Telegram group is you're going to become someone who's unrecognizable. When I show up at Freedom Queen Live, I'm going to be richer, I'm going to be healthier, I'm going to be happier, I'm going to be hotter. Who do you want to be when you show up to Freedom Queen Live? Do you want to be the same version of you now? Or do you want to be the person that walks into Freedom Queen Live like, hello, everybody, I'm ready to go? Then when people come up to you at Freedom Queen Live, they're like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. And so I know that in order to do that, you need accountability. I know that in order to do that, you need a system, you need a place to plug into with other people that are radically transforming their lives. I've been in Thailand in 1 week. We already have new branding, new video. I've been working out with my trainer. Like, we have healthy meal prep, organic food delivered. Like, I am committed by Freedom Queen Live to becoming unrecognizable. Are you? And so when you join Freedom Queen Live, you get access to the unrecognizable challenge. Team Freedom Queen, put the link inside of the chat again if you haven't already. Oh, you already did. Where is the 50 to Freedom inside the membership? Bought a VIP ticket yesterday and I don't see it. Inside of 50 to Freedom inside of the Freedom Queen membership, it's under the Build Your Movement portal. And also, Taryn, welcome to VIP. I saw you got your VIP ticket. I'm so excited. And you're going to get the bonuses today. The next thing that you get inside of the Freedom Queen / Buckwild package, this is total value of $8,000, is you get our Down in the DMs live program. So again, this starts next week. You get access to the entire course. Now, the course itself is selling for $297. In addition to that, you get 4 live group calls with me where some of you are going to get access to Q&As where I audit your feed content, I audit your IG stories and your sales conversations in the DMs. When you join the Freedom Queen Live Buckwild offer, you get access to Down in the DMs live program that starts next week, 4 live calls and the entire course. Here's the total value of that. We're at $10,000 in value, and you get access to the Freedom Queen membership. Now, all of this is absolutely insane. $11,000 in value. I really packed and stacked on every single course and experience that I know could make you change your entire life by Freedom Queen Live. And I want you to put it in the chat. What are some of the fears that are coming up around joining this offer? What are some of the little limiting beliefs that your brain is telling you? What are some of the things that your brain's going, I don't know, should I do this? Like, I'm scared. What are some of the things that are coming up for you? And I want you to just imagine that you do say yes. You come to Freedom Queen Live, where we're staying at the beautiful Vinoy Resort. You walk in and you feel like the queen of your life. You remember back to this training and you go, I remember when I decided to go buck wild. I remember when I decided to go to the top. I remember when I decided to be the 1% crazy. And you go to your Vinoy room, which the bathrooms are very Freedom Queen. They're so gorgeous. You go to the Vinoy room with the marble countertops and you look in the mirror and you say, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for saying yes to yourself. I'm so proud of you for, even when it didn't make sense, you found the way. I'm so proud of you for listening to whatever it is that you want to say that called you to go for more. I'm so proud of you for moving even when you were afraid. And you come to, over the next 90 days, all of the calls are 4-week Buckwild mini mind. You come to the coaching, you come to the unrecognizable challenge, you come to Down in the DMs, and then you show up at Freedom Queen Live and you're like, I did that. Then I want you to revisit those beliefs that you have. Maybe your brain's telling you, well, I can't fly around the world. I just showed you how I've flown around the world multiple times when it didn't make sense. I paid $25,000 for a weekend. None of this made sense, but I did it anyways. Right after the last event that I just went to, it was in Boise, Idaho in April. I had my first $200,000 cash month in May. It's not a coincidence. I didn't need to go there. I actually felt all this resistance to going. I was like, do I need to go to this event? Yes, I'm going to be there and put myself in the room. So today, tickets are $497. We are still in the pre-sale of this. So when you take advantage of this earlier, you're going to get access to the general admission price of $497, which is absolutely insane. For those of you that have bought in the last 24 hours, a bunch of you have, you guys are going to get access to all of the bonuses that I talk about today. But all of these bonuses are going to expire in a week. So let me explain this to you. So it's $497 for a ticket. The link is inside of the chat. This means that in the next 90 days, you will be unrecognizable. I want you to picture what this looks like, being the most beautiful version of you, glowing, feeling like, if you want to say the hottest version of you, the sexiest version of you, the most beautiful, the most queen version of you in the next 90 days. Your bank account is booming, you look absolutely stunning, and you feel amazing. Real talk, that's the most important thing to me, is that you feel internally like, I can do this. I can actually show up for my business in a really, really, really big way. I'm coming into the chat here. I'm flying around the world to come here. Danny's flying from Australia. Danny's flying from Australia. Oh, Sumaya says, just got my ticket, Sumaya. Okay, wait till you hear the bonuses that happen only when you buy live on the call. Sumaya, congratulations. I'll talk about the upgrade bonuses in just a minute here. Sophie, you got it in the sales for the summer mini mind. Yes, Sumaya, welcome to Freedom Queen Live. Sumaya, put it in the chat. What was the thing that made you sign up? Tell me inside of the chat, what was the thing that made you move? Why did you actually sign up for it? Put it in the chat. We'll have to fly from Canada for this. We have so many Canadians. So many Canadians. Actually, if you've already got your ticket for Freedom Queen Live, put it in the chat. Where are you flying from? You already have your ticket for Freedom Queen Live. Put it in the chat. Where are you flying from? Put it inside of the chat. And so from Montreal, Canada, Miami, Atlanta, Montreal. Wow, you have so many Montreals. Utah, Calgary, Nova Scotia. I knew I was going to do it since January. I don't know what held me back, but today feels divine. Do you know how many people have said to me, I'm coming to Freedom Queen Live? I'm like, well, you got to move. I booked a $25,000 weekend 6 months before the event. Val, who's doing a VIP weekend with me in Paris, Val signed up for that VIP weekend. Are you ready for this? 1 year. 1 year before we actually go to Paris together. Don't wait. Don't wait until, I know some of you, what you're going to do is you're going to wait to September to book your ticket for Freedom Queen Live. And then you're going to be like, wow, I wish I would have become unrecognizable. Wow, I wish I would have used all this time that we have. 90 days is a lot of time. And if you use it in the right way, if you really go intentional and you utilize the coaching in the next 90 days together, you are going to be a completely transformed person by the actual event itself. I made it happen when it didn't make sense. And then Val's also coming to Freedom Queen Live, because that's who she is. She's like, I'm going to fly to Florida from Montreal. Oh, and you have, Val has a baby. Then she's going to fly from Florida to Paris for a VIP weekend. And this is why Val has $1 million company. And this is why Val's going to be at 2 million and 3 million soon. Mark my words. Almost 2 years old now. Baby. Almost 2 years old. That's why Val is where she is today. And so, okay, let me get to the bonuses that you guys get today when you buy on this call. So we start July 8th, the whole package. You already have your ticket for Freedom Queen Live. Because we did bonuses in June and May and you guys got celeb status, you're not going to get down in the DMs or the Buckwild mini mind. This is just for people that buy right now. But if you already have your ticket for Freedom Queen Live, you guys are going to get access to the 90-day unrecognizable challenge. So it gets wilder. Somebody put wilder in the chat. Somebody put wilder inside of the chat. The offer just got a little bit wilder. Just when you think we were already buck wild, we got even more buck wilder. And so for those of you that have already signed up while we're on this call, here's everything that you get. You get access to the 4-week Buckwild mini mind, 4 live calls, 1 day a week inside of Telegram, the Freedom Queen Live conference, which is the ticket price itself, $497, insane. You get the Down in the DMs course, the Freedom Queen membership included. And here we go. Are you ready for this? This is time sensitive. You have to buy right now. Like literally, you have to go into the chat box, click the link, open it up in your browser, enter in your credit card details, whether it's general admission or VIP, right now and sign up for it, and you get an hour audio call with Bridget. Now, this is only available right now. Once this Zoom call closes out, this will be nada. This is not available anymore. And so go into the chat, buy the ticket for Freedom Queen Live. You get all the bonuses. Plus, when you join live on the call, you get a 1-hour audio call with me. Mind blown. So for those of you that have already purchased it, you guys get access to it. Now, after this call closes, I have a couple more bonuses here, but after this call closes, I have a couple more bonuses that are going to still be available. Does it count if we buy VIP? Yes. Yes, it counts if you buy VIP right now. Yes, Steph. Hi, Stephanie. General admission or the VIP. Hi. Okay, yeah. And once you buy it, just come back into the chat so we can celebrate with you. And we're gonna go through Stripe and check and make sure the people that bought the tickets bought while we're on the call, so that we get the timestamp to know that you get the 1-hour audio call. Over here, like, maybe I'll get a second ticket. If you plan on bringing a friend and you want to buy the ticket for them, you can do that as well. So Janae, if you have a friend you want to bring, $497, you get access to everything. You can get the 1-hour call, not them. Does this apply? Yes, Taryn, you bought last night in the last 24 hours. So maybe you're watching this now and you're like, ooh, I want to bring a friend to Freedom Queen Live. I always bring, like, Robbie and I always go together. You could bring a team member. Some clients are bringing their clients. Like, one of my clients has like 7 of her clients coming. If you want to, you could buy tickets for your clients and then include it inside of one of your offers. But again, this is only going to be live right now. Only right now. When you sign up for general admission or VIP, you're going to get the hour call. After this call ends, this particular bonus will not be available. Are you ready for the next bonus that I'm dropping here? Are you ready? For the next 2 days, so after this call ends, and we finish out tomorrow for Buckwild Day 2, you get a 30-minute audio call. So after this call ends, the hour one will be taken away completely. And when you sign up in the next 2 days, you get a 30-minute call. And I'll go over all of this tomorrow after we do our training and our hot seat coaching. Tomorrow, I'll go through all of this at the end and stay on for anyone that has questions about the event, about the everything that we're doing. Let's go. So if you've already purchased, you get access to the 1 hour. When you buy on the call, you get access to the hour. 2 days, you get access to the 30-minute call. This bundle is going to expire on July 8th. Here's everything that's included. The 4-week Buckwild Mini Mind, you get access to the 4-day conference. Inside of the Buckwild Mini Mind, we have 4 live calls, 1 day a week inside of Telegram. You get access to the Down in the DMs course, which is live happening next week, and then the Freedom Queen membership inside of it. Now, here's what I didn't tell you guys. Here's what I didn't tell you guys. And Stephanie, I was waiting for this, and it's perfect time. In for VIP. Stephanie's in for VIP. Welcome. When you join VIP in the next week, you get a 2-hour Telegram session with me. And so Stephanie, as an example, purchased VIP on the call. So Stephanie got access to the 1-hour call that's only available on this call. And when you join VIP in the next week, you get a 2-hour session. So you get 3 hours together, which is insane. And I'm changing it up a little bit. Some are in Telegram, some are on the live call. For those of you that already have your ticket and you want to upgrade to VIP and take advantage of this offer where you get the 2-hour session of private Telegram, put upgrade in the chat and we will send you a special link so that you can upgrade to the VIP pass here. Okay, upgrade, amazing. Okay, we'll message you guys right after this. Team Freedom Queen and I are going to be on dropping Scarlett, Olga links. Make sure that you buy ASAP, Janae, that you buy ASAP to be able to redeem this 2-hour private Telegram session. We'll send you guys the link. Yeah, that includes current upgrades. Yes. Oh my God, stop, Stephanie says. MK has a question. Hi, Bridget, I have a question. I've always been interested in buying your programs, but how do they apply to businesses that don't continuously have new things to drop? For example, credit card repair companies. So Freedom Queen and the conference is for anyone that's a service-based business owner. So for example, I actually had a mastermind client all last year who was in the health insurance industry, and she sold health insurance packages. And so Freedom Queen Live is for coaches, consultants, service providers. It's for mindset coaches. And it's also for anyone where you are delivering information business. You guys know what information businesses are, right? Meaning you're delivering information to people on the internet in order to get them to buy something from you. And so what we do is we create different offers and packages based on what you have. And also, MK, some of my clients, they don't continuously drop new offers. Some clients do, and some people keep selling the same thing over and over and over again. It just depends on your business model. I need to double check if my upgrade worked. Okay, well, let me know. Okay, let me check. That was my last slide here. So I'm gonna go back. Team Freedom Queen, put the link inside of the chat again. Time sensitive now, when you sign up for the Freedom Queen Live Buckwild bundle, you get access to Freedom Queen Live, Buckwild Mini Mind, down the DMs course, Freedom Queen membership. You also get access to the live 1 hour call. As soon as I close out this call, that's going to be taken away, okay? That's gonna be taken away. After today, you're gonna have one more opportunity to get your ticket, and you're gonna have a smaller call with me. And then after that, that one will be taken away, and you're just gonna have the regular package available to purchase in the next week. Now, if you wanna bring a friend, a sister, a mother, a team member, a client, and you wanna get access to this bundle bonus, you can do that. The team member will just get access to the ticket, and you'll get access to all of the special bonuses that are included inside of this offer. Thank you for answering. Yes, and if you put upgrade in the chat, Team Freedom Queen and I will be going through and sending you messages. Actually, let me just do this. If you need an upgrade VIP, can you right now open your phone and DM me on Instagram, upgrade? It'll be faster. Just open your phone right now. If you already have your ticket to Freedom Queen Live and you want to upgrade to VIP, DM me upgrade on Instagram, and then I'll respond to you that way, and I'll send you the link. I think that was Scarlett, Olga, Janae, a couple of you guys. So with that being said, we are now almost 2 hours into our Buckwild call. Done. Amazing. You already DM'd me. What's going to happen now is we're going to close out this call. That one bonus will be taken away, so make sure you sign up if you want to get access to that bonus. Tomorrow, we're going to meet here at the same time, so 7 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. I want you to bring your jammies. If it's your morning, get dressed up, bring your coffee, get ready to go. And we're going to be doing hot seat coaching and Q&As around what it actually looks like for you to go buck wild. So I've showed you who I was. I showed you how I move at lightning speed. I show you how I move regardless of what happens inside of my life. But tomorrow, I want to help you actually tap into what does it look like for you to go buck wild? What actions do you need to be taken? For those of you that have joined the Freedom Queen Live Buckwild bundle, I will see you at Freedom Queen Live, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of the 2-day free event, Buckwild. Okay, congratulations if you got your ticket. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2 of Buckwild, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye everyone. Bye.